Blockchain for Education. Richard Maaghul, ODEM. Adel ElMessiry, ODEM.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Maaghul. I'm the CEO of ODEM, and I'd like to thank everyone who stayed here because you guys are going to hear some amazing stuff. But first, I want to know how many here in this room have attended college? Raise your hands. Come on, don't be bashful. That's great. 93.7% of people worldwide have never even gone to college. Jack Ma said something very interesting at the World Economic Forum. He said 800 million jobs will be taken over by robots by 2030. That's incredible. 800 million people are illiterate. Student loan debt in the United States is $1.3 trillion. By the time students get out of college, there's not a job to pay back those loans. In Germany, where education is free, the college dropout the first year is 30%. The second year is another 30%. I know everybody in this room understands that education needs help. Now, universities, the four-year degrees, are great institutions, but they do not serve that 93.7% of the world's people. ODEM is an on-demand education marketplace. We started 6 months ago. We raised our money already. 6 months ago, we're going to launch in February. We are having revenue already on our blockchain. Certificates on our blockchain. We just finished our first program at West Point, allowing students to connect with educators without universities, without agents, and without middlemen. And they were certified in professional development, leadership, and got a certificate on the ODEM blockchain. Now, why? Why blockchain? Big question. We hear it on every speaker. Be careful. Make sure you invest in a token that has value. It's the right reason why they use the token. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that education has value? We all go to four-year degree and get our master's, and we get a job, and it's money. Think about education achievements as currency. Then you would want to protect it in a very secure way, that it keeps its value. ODEM has created a immutable, transparent, secure environment to secure your achievements. And we're giving a different access, an alternative access to education that's affordable, verifiable, and transferable. Does it get any better?
Yes, because like what you heard before, when people are talking about blockchain, they always talk about, hey, just put it on the block and that's it. However, you need to think beyond that. That's why in ODEM we have a whole plethora of systems that help you go to the next step. It's not just put it on the blockchain and we're done. That's just the start. We call this the circle of life, where we can show you how your system goes from things that would help the student, help the professional, and make sure that you can have a clear-cut path to your future. How is that? ITE, identity through education. You are not only what you eat, but also what you learn. So through education, you can establish your credentials, you can establish yourself, you can establish what you can do. And think for a second, we take that for granted. However, there is a huge number of population that don't have access to accrediting bodies or the institutions they got their certificates from, or even their countries, because they are refugees. They don't have any access to that. So we have a consensus system that allows us of adding that back to them. Then something like the EAR, that's the repository, helping to take the logistics of maintaining all your certificates from the institutions and letting them focus not on the transactions of education, but more on how the education is processed. Basically getting them back to what they like to do most, the quality of the education. The education programs taking, allowing the system to clear the noise from people just trying to subscribe to anything and everything under the sun, to more of like how serious they are, where the market is. I don't want to be taught things that are not useful for me. How would the educators know about that? Well, I'm going to stake my own tokens to make sure that they know I am serious about that. But it gets better. So we have the education skill badges. Through your life, you are not just going to go to college and that's it. You're going to go and learn things, whether it is on the job, like professional skill networks, whether it is on skill badges that you go and learn for your own self. And you need a system that is currency agnostic. That means that you can participate in it any place on the planet. And then you need things that will help you on an educator side. If I am a PhD, I have a curricula that I've created. I want to let other people teach that. But right now, it's very difficult because if they teach it, they will gain everything. I have no way to participate in that. The PCR allows us to do that through the contract that preserves my royalties into it. And program revenue sharing, similar way. The independent credential verification, allowing employers to understand and be assured that you are who you are and not just stepped out of the street and claim that you are a nuclear engineer. And then finally, education partnership that allows you to partake into the entire ecosystem and training education records and then continuous education for you to go. So in all, what we are trying to create is not just blockchain of certificates, is the start of a complete ecosystem allowing you to put your education to work for yourself and for the employer. And that's an example of what we are trying to address in the system. And that's our leadership team.
Thank you, Dr. Adel. Listen, we made great strides. We've activated the mainnet, not just activated it, we're actually developing and implementing our use cases, those 12 use cases. We've done it in a record amount of time, in 6 months. We have revenue already generated. We have interest, Lithuanian government. We just left the Prime Minister's office here in Malta. It was a great conversation. Education is one of those currencies that we cannot look behind. I want everybody to visit our site, odem.io, and learn more. Visit us on Telegram, our social media. I only had 10 minutes here. There's not much time. But we are way advanced, and one day, you yourself may come to our marketplace, decide you want to have a change in your career. You go to the marketplace, you connect with the educators, you negotiate your terms, your prices, and you get that affordable education, you get the verifiable degree, and you get to be able to transfer it from one country to the next and be able to take care of your families and your economies. Thank you.